Students of BA Part 3rd English Literature. I am Dr. Cheena Puri, Associate Professor in English in Government Girls College, Kishanpur, Jaipur. Today's video is a continuation of the last where we were studying the dramatic monologue by Robert Browning, that is My Last Duchess. And in the first 13 lines, we had talked about how the dramatic monologue begins with a action, in the sense that the Duke, who is surmised to be the Duke of Ferrara from Italy, and he points out on the wall where the portrait of his last Duchess, on which the title of the poem is made, and he talks about it and describes it to the messenger who has come from another county and has brought the proposal of the daughter of the rich man there, and how the Dutch goes on to explain and describe the portrait. And the description which he gives reflects a lot about the Duke himself more than the Duchess. And though he is describing the Duchess as a very naive and foolish person, and who was happy even when you gifted her trifles or small little things, and would be very thankful to others even on the slightest service they had happened to do for her, and she had no sense of dignity and decorum. And he gives an example of the faint blush of joy on her cheek and neck, which was not caused by the presence of her husband alone. So here we find that while he is describing the Duchess, we as a reader, we can discern and feel that the character sketch of the Duke is being portrayed indirectly as a man who is arrogant and who does not care much about the females in his life. And so we can read it as a feminist text too. So we will continue now with the part 2, which is consisting of lines 14 to 24. And here again we will find that how the poet goes on to describe further the characteristic of the Duchess. So let us first go through the lines. The first part is a continuation from the last line, that is line 13. Sir, it was not. Sir, he is referring to the messenger. Sir, it was not her husband's presence alone called that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheek. So the spot here refers to the pinkish hue, the color on the cheeks of the Duchess. So it was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheek. Perhaps Fra Pandolf, he is the painter. He was a monk who was called to paint. He was also a painter, and so he was called to paint the last Duchess's portrait. So perhaps Fra Pandolf chanced to say, her mental lapse over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half blush. Flush is also blush that dies along her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. So we find that the Duke is not talking in praise of that Duchess. He is satirically portraying her character. But more than trying to understand the Duchess character, the poet, is able to hint at the characteristic features of the speaker himself. And because here he is talking about the frivolously or the openness of the Duchess, which he did not like, and she was a person who really thanked everybody who offered any help or did anything for her. And the blush of happiness which comes on her cheek when somebody praised is out of innocence, but the Duke considers it as something annoying, and he suggests that perhaps Fra Pandolf had happened to compliment her by saying her shawl drapes over her wrist too much. So mantle laps is the shawl which drapes around her too much, or paint could never create. Either the portrait maker is trying to comment something on the Duchess' beauty, or paint brush could never recreate the faint half blush that's fading on her throat. So the Duke insists that the former Duchess thought that polite comments like those were reason enough to blush, and criticizes her in a halting way for being too easily made happy or impressed. So he is rather jealous, and he's a dominating person. And the Duchess, on the other hand, had no discrimination and no sense of false dignity. She smiled at everybody without any distinction and thanked everybody in the same way, while the Duke wanted or expected his wife to behave in a different manner. But he never corrected her, for even to notice such frivolity would have meant loss of dignity, and he did not like to suffer this loss. So he considered it below his dignity to point this flaw in the Duchess. And he says, she had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad. So it's not considered to be a good characteristic of a Duchess, who should be aloof and proud and not interact or be impressed by anybody and everybody on any small account. And this he does not like in his Duchess. And the last line has been left intentionally enigmatic. We cannot say for certain how the smiling stopped, but most probably the poor innocent Duchess was murdered at the end at the command of the stony-hearted husband. So, while showing the portrait, describing the portrait, the poet is trying to focus on the characteristic of the Duke. And here the spot of joy, as I have mentioned already, the spot is the blush which comes, and of joy because somebody has praised her. So these are some of the words, the mental lapse, and other important words which come here is the mantle is the cloak and laps is the cover. Mantle means cloak or a big long dress covering till your feet, and laps is the covers. So the Duchess was so childish, according to the Duke, that she took much passing remark seriously and flushed with joy or happiness. And the blush on her cheeks in the portrait was caused by such meaningless remarks. And then he says, she had a heart, how shall I say? The Duke further tells the messenger that the last Duchess had a very simple nature. In fact, he fails to find suitable words to describe her such a childish simplicity. She was pleased with little things and sensitive to little acts of ordinary courtesy. So the Duke is very critical of the dead Duchess and lacked good sense and discrimination. In fact, the Duke's vanity is hurt at the very thought that the Duchess treated his own presence at par with petty trifles. So, with this, we come to the end of line 14 to 24.